Welcome. My name is Newman García, and I'll be reading your energy today. Just clearing the energy with a little Palo Santo. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. Let's begin with a deep breath. Inhale from the bottom of your tailbone, climbing up your spine to the crown of your head. Hold it. Exhale, soft sigh out of your mouth. Just allow your body to relax, your mind to quiet, as you tune to your highest good, acknowledging that whatever you hear is exactly what you're meant to hear in this time and space. Only divine love and light are allowed into this transmission. Thank you, Spirit. Let's begin with some oracle cards. I've already shuffled. Beacon of light. We had this the other day. That's who you have become. Stable in holding your frequency of well-being under all conditions. The lighthouse experiences all kinds of weather. There are very calm days at sea and very rough. The light is always shining. That's you. You know how to hold steady under all frequencies. And that took some time because you're highly sensitive to frequency. You have been your whole life. And what I'm getting from this is that you've recognized, you see all of the ships out at sea in this kind of choppy weather. You realize I can see and feel the energy of each one of these ships with ease. It is not my responsibility to do anything about that. It is my responsibility to hold steady in my knowing of well-being, and the ships that need assistance will come to me, and the ones that don't won't. And it's that simple. That's the phase that you have entered into this next season. The stability of knowing when I'm needed, I'll know. You're no longer validating your worth based on how much you can help, because you recognize that the most, the most value that you can provide, throat chakra, speaking your truth, not convincing, just speaking it, knowing it, because you know that you are Christ consciousness embodied in physical form, and you know everyone is. And everyone is on a different playing field of recognizing that. Let's pull some tarot. Interesting. Wealth. Ten of discs. This is what brings you all of your material desires. I don't know if you can see in the camera, there was like a little light floating. I wonder, I'll be interested to see on the playback. Comment below if you saw that. That was fascinating. 10 of discs, wealth, legacy. You are your legacy, your name, who you are throughout each day. The impact that you have on humanity is immeasurable with language, with any sort of human metrics. Because every time your heart beats at this frequency of Christ consciousness, you literally uplift the entirety of the plane around you. Because you recognize it all is you. These ships out to sea, some of them know how to navigate these choppy waters. They have fun doing it. My husband and I, a couple months ago, were really fascinated with some YouTube videos of these channels in Florida that were really rough, and people joyrode. They wanted to go through it. You're the lighthouse. You know that those that need your help will come to you. You don't have to seek them out. They'll want your information, and that's what's going to bring you all of the abundance that you seek. And more importantly, it's going to solidify in the material world your unique individual frequency. Dali is coming to my mind. Salvador Dali. I went to his museum, or there's many, but one the other day, and he said, someone asked him about death. He has transition. But he said, I will die, but Dali never will. And there's so much truth to that. That's what you're in the process of creating right now in each present moment. Your legacy, longevity of the imprint that you make on this planet. And you're not tied to an outcome that happens within a certain time period. Read an article the other day about someone who has transitioned that invested most of his wealth into restoration of nature preserves on a 300-year project, full body chills, because he didn't want to rush it. He knew nature doesn't rush anything. He wanted some trees to be more mature than others, and so on and so forth. The details are irrelevant. The point of that is, when you zoom out and you acknowledge that we have accepted this linear time frame from our perspective, but really everything is happening here and now, you rest easy knowing there's no rush, and whether the impact that you make is acknowledged within your lifetime or not. I have a Lego creation of Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. I don't really think he was super recognized at that time, but now he is. And he followed his bliss. He followed what felt good. He might have seemed a bit crazy, but now he's revered. That's who you are. I'm not saying you're crazy, but I am saying you will be revered for your steadiness in knowing that you are the beacon of light, and your confidence to speak your truth in whatever way that means. Maybe you don't even speak. Maybe you create some sort of art. The hermit. Because you found who you really were in the solitude of the cave. You disconnected from family, friends, the noise of the world, in order to find your truth. And that's really the only way you ever can find your truth, is in the perception of silence, which nothing is ever silent. Even silence has sound. It's in the perception of stillness, alignment, when your body is at ease. And you had to face all of your demons and integrate them lovingly instead of running from them, numbing, avoiding, which is what many of humanity, no judgment, I did it for years, do because they're scared. If I actually face this, am I going to make it? Of course you will. That's the human journey. You're going to transition no matter what, so you might as well have fun on the process, right? You might as well know yourself. You might as well figure out who you are instead of living for everyone else, and that's what you've done, which creates you as this beacon of light everywhere that you go. You enter a room and the frequency must match, because you're no longer dimming to meet everyone else. You're no longer hiding your truth. You can't anymore. It's not possible. It's not possible for you to console someone when you know everything happens in perfect divine timing and all of it's all good. You can be there and say it's going to be okay, but you're not going to dip down and join in on their conversation of life isn't fair, because it's perfectly fair always. And you know that. You have transcended victim mentality, and now you are the one who has experienced a lot of things that's saying, thank you for the pain. Thank you for the suffering. Thank you for the experiences that helped me to strengthen my knowing of myself. If you want to be strong, don't you have to go through some things to make you strong? How do you know you're in balance unless you've been out of balance? Everything is all good and always perfectly choreographed, coordinated, co-creation. Coincidences are cooperating incidences. There's no such thing as an accident. You know these things and you can't help but speak them whenever things pop up. You are the beacon of light. With the ship out there that's freaking out about whatever noise that they have attached to, and you're over here shining the light saying, it's all good. It's all good. Did you die though? I want to get that bumper sticker. Have you seen that on cars? Did you die though? Like, no, you're still here. Move on. And you're not, you recognize too, you're not perfect. You're perfectly imperfect. We've done this an infinite amount of times. Intelligence is infinite. So we have created these perceived imperfections for the joy of experiencing them. So you might be a beacon of light, but every now and then that light bulb needs to be replaced, right? Like you're not always ALWAYS. You're not always lit up like a shining beacon, but you are always ALLWAYS, knowing yourself when you need to refill your lantern. If you think of a gas light, bulky analogies are never fully representative. The Aeon, this is your life's purpose. We had a very similar reading a couple days ago. You are a beacon of light. This is your soul's purpose. It's to embody Christ consciousness, which everyone has. It's a physical thing too. It's an alignment of your spine. It's an awakening of your chakras. There's a lot of physicality to the book of the Bible. I'm not well versed in any religion, so I'm not going to go there. All of the basis of every single one, the basis of all spirituality is to relieve suffering. And relief is the feeling that you're always seeking, because when you get a desire, there's a bit of an angst. And so the relief of that angst, when it's fulfilled, is what feels so nice. You have recognized that all things are all good, becoming that beacon of light by going through the hermit phase and saying, instead of numbing my emotions by always being active, for some of you that's the case. For me, that was definitely the case. Or for using substances to avoid, did that too. Binging television, did that too. All of the things that we do to avoid our emotions, you press pause, went deep dive within who am I without all the stuff, and you felt it. And you said, all right, I can do this. I can do this. And you did. And now you're the guiding light for others. And whatever you create is going to be the expression of the frequency that you have evolved into. Ooh, did you hear that? Whatever you create is going to be the frequency of that which you have evolved into. I brought up Dali earlier. Every time I look at his art, I perceive something new, because you are new unto this world in each now moment. Every breath symbolizes your newness. Your perspective is ever-changing, infinite. So whatever you create, this is why it's so important to begin. If you haven't already, because leading you to this 10 of discs, this legacy wealth, this stability, you must begin. And I feel whoever I'm talking to already has. You know what you're meant to produce for this world. It is an undeniable call. And you've stopped over analyzing based on metrics and instead have embodied your truth of this feels like ecstasy in each moment because it's what I'm here to do on this planet. You have locked into the phrase highest timeline is coming into my mind, which really just means alignment with feeling good. And creation is automatic. It's law of attraction. When you feel good, more things that you like come to you. And you have discerned your focus so much, you've cleared out all of the darkness in the hermit cave, came out as a bright beacon of light, and now everything is coming to you. Let's pull one more tarot card. Ooh, Nine of Swords, cruelty. These are thoughts. Maybe one or two here and there that are lingering. You know, the other day I had a thought. This will resonate for you, for sure. I had a thought that was one of these. Nine of Swords. Not nice. It wasn't in resonant with being the beacon of light that I know myself to be. It wasn't in resonant with my soul purpose. And I was standing pretty close to my mirror in my room, and I turned my head and I said, no. Just like a very, no, Like that's not resonant anymore. And that's where you've gotten. You recognize a thought is simply that, a thought. And there's no such thing as pushing things away. And there's really no such thing as no, but it can feel good to just know you're not going to affect me anymore. I'm going to focus on anything else. And then it dissipates. And the more you do that, the less these show up. I'm preaching to the choir. You've already done the emotional work. You know what this is like. You're a divine alchemist, for sure. But if these ever pop up, and they might pop up through other people not understanding what you're doing, smile and move on. Don't explain because you can't. Just be and trust in the path. You've done this before, literally, but I mean even in this lifetime. You've done things like this before where you took action and followed your heart center despite everyone around you questioning what you were doing, because you designed this game to learn how to trust your inner guidance despite the limitations that you placed on your human when you created this entire hologram. And now you have embodied your Empress energy. She's the culmination of every queen in the deck. Your heart is open, your intuition is on, your creative spark is lit up, and you are not afraid to speak your truth. The divine feminine is awakening on planet Earth during this time and space. And you are at the forefront of that. You're at the leading edge of thought of that leading edge. There's an infinite number of edges. Own your edge. I was at a gas station this morning and I looked to my left and it says, own your edge. You know that you're always being guided, which is what enables you to be a beacon of light, because you know that you are the guide for those who are seeking. You don't have to seek them out. That's Empress energy, is knowing I don't have to seek out those who are looking for what I have to offer. And you've been on your journey enough through this hermit phase that you have followed your intuition to different people, different places, different experiences that you can't explain. It just happens. To the point where you really have let go of trying to figure it out, and you've surrendered and said, all right, I will wake up every day and allow my inner child to play and trust that I will be sourced, because source is infinite. Let's pull another oracle card. Great reading so far. Stillness. This is how you found your truth. Stillness. Actual stillness. You deep breathe a lot, don't you? I'll never forget the first time that I had my God chills. If you follow my channel, then you know that that's always my signal that I'm in resonance with my highest timeline, my alignment. It was when I was deep breathing. 15-second inhale, 15-second pause, 15-second exhale. It was deep. It was as if something took over my vessel. I didn't know that I could physically do that. And I say second, it was a 15 count. It might have been longer. Expansion. Holding the edge. Contraction. In stillness, you know. Telling a lot of stories, but they're relevant. My ex in his salon. See, you've always been guided and taught. My ex in his salon had jewelry, and one of the pieces that sold really well was a necklace of a cross, and the cross was 2 pieces. So one going this way, one going that way. And it came with a Bible verse, which I was so resistant to at the time. Very wounded from religion. That's another story, but probably relevant to you. And it was be still and know. I think be still and know God or thyself, which is the same. Because when you were still, the cross landed. When you were moving, it kind of moved all around, right? That made no sense to me at the time. Until it did. Until it did. And you'll notice more and more. Beacon of light. I mean, wow, what a perfect combo. Talk about being still and knowing. Let's pull one more oracle card, but this is the reading. You know yourself. You know thyself. You have awakened Christ consciousness. That's what keeps coming through. And it doesn't make you special. Everyone has the capability of doing it because it's embedded in every single person on this planet. Because all it is unconditional love for yourself and thus then all others. That's the path. Can you honor thyself first, recognizing that the second you do that, you honor all others? Sanctuary. You have found your inner sanctuary. You might have a specific space that feels safe. My space right here. The second I sit in this chair, almost every time some sort of movement comes through me because I have co-created with this chair. It's one of my favorite pieces of furniture. I talk to it often because he has healed me. He has helped me align. But now he has the frequency of this alignment. Objects can hold all objects do hold frequencies. So when you're, this is coming through strong. When you're creating your sanctuary, your home, take some time today or tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this, and walk throughout your house with ease. Be in a calm state, not seeking, be still and know. And then effortlessly walk through your house in appreciation for everything that you perceive. And notice if there's something that you appreciate and is ready to go. Because everything holds an energetic signature. And as you're knowing of being a beacon of light, all of the darkness serves, but you don't carry it with you physically all of the time. Attachment is the root of all suffering, all dis-ease, all instability. The art of detachment is the gift of relief, ease, stability. So your sanctuary, your inner sanctuary is stable. Now go throughout your space and lovingly let go of anything else that's not representative. And if you don't find anything, rest. Ooh, full body chills. Someone's not going to find anything. They're going to realize this is it. This is my home. This is my life. I love my life. I love my home. I love myself. I'm ready to simply live One more card and we'll wrap this up. Balance. You're in balance. Full body chills. If you stayed this long, you know you're in balance. You know you are. I almost want to cry. In fact, I did a Reiki session, Alchemy Healing on YouTube. If you don't follow her, I highly recommend it. She's incredible. And I had tears rolling down my eyes as I released some specific energies. I actually visualized myself being fire and burning any attachments in love. I don't want to burn those who are attached to it, but just burning any of those cords that are still attached. And that allows me to know that I'm in balance. You are in balance. You have embodied Christ consciousness. You are the frequency of unconditional love because you have found it for yourself. And now your role is to embody that unconditional love. You're not here to chase ships and help them. You're not here to help the ones that resist. You're here to hold steady your light, and those that seek will find. You're not here to get nailed on a cross because you open your mouth too much. I'm not, whatever, I don't get, that didn't offend anyone who's this far in. You know, one time one of my teachers, Bashar, he's an Esasani being, and he channeled the consciousness of Christ, and Christ jokingly said, nailed it, because there's no such thing as death, it's a transition of consciousness. But just like Martin Luther King is popping up, like, you don't have to get shot at or be hung on a cross to embody your light and to share your truth. You're safe. You can live a long life if that's your desire, and just be easy about it. Don't try to get people to understand when they are so out of that frequency. Just appreciate the reflection that they provide and point the other way. You're doing great. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Comment below with a cross. Comment below with a cross. An emoji of a cross. Recognizing your balance, your acknowledgement that you know yourself, and your embodiment of Christ consciousness, which is accessible to all beings on this planet. Christ was not special. He just decided to follow his bliss, and that's what you've done as well. We're all special. We're all one. If you'd like a private reading, you'll hear specific intelligence related exactly to your path. NewmanFlows.com. Link is in my description. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time. Namaste.